So, Commissioner Singleton, what it is that at the end of the fiscal year, because the numbers aren't all in, because some things may carry over into July, even into August or September, just like state share revenue and things like that, we're gonna give an amended budget update next month. But this month, like I said, because everything is all in disarray, yep, we'll give the start of the fiscal year and amended budget next month.
All right, 5:30. Okay, so personnel and finance meeting is in order. First thing we're gonna talk about, not the matrix, but we're going to the employees of the city, except the ones that the
Correct. The only thing that is not included on this list are those that are temp seasonal people. So they would be working for a short period of time, but everyone that is on here is a year-round employee, be it either full-time or part-time. It shows their job, their position, as well as if they're in the union or not.
These are all the employees of the city, right?
Yes, sir. This is all the employees of the city. Except for part-timers that are only working a season. But other than that, these are all the ones that work year-round, 12 months out the year.
Seasonal ones that you didn't have a list for them.
They actually just changed some just this week. So I didn't put them on there. I can put them on there because I emailed this one out. I can email that out as well with an updated with the temp seasonal separated out.
Right.
That's fine.
Could put on there, say like the ones that started out, but they, there's no longer, then you could have like a notation.
We can do that too.
Yes.
Yep.
That would have to cover everybody. Right?
Yep, that would cover everybody.
we had public works on here, so we got all the public works on here too, and what they job position.
Correct. So you under the position description where it says heavy equipment operator, heavy equipment operator, heavy equipment operator, maintenance relief operator, heavy equipment, it tells you exactly what they do. So public safety officers, those that work police, fire, that are in training, the ones that are general laborers, the custodian, everything, like I said, is all in here and identified.
Mr. Henry said she wanted to see this, so I'm sure he emailed.
I emailed it to all the commissioners.
Okay.
And then like I said, I'll update it with what was asked to be updated and email it out again.
Yeah, basically what they, I guess he was gonna come do, was to come and basically explain some of the challenges that, that they, I know you're talking about the keeping heavy, CDL people and stuff like that, so, but, he comes up with that.
Anything else?
What happened to a board? What's happened here?
Next thing we're gonna talk about, discussion James Clark Park personnel issues. So came up, Mr. Jackson came here last week, public safety meeting, and discussed some things that would happen. Going back.
Basically, some of the, I guess he had made some complaints or allegations. We also had later learned that one incident was investigated with the police department. And there was some charges was pending. Was that?
That's true. That is true. That is true and correct.
On the, well, you were here, weren't you? When you was,
I was not, because I had an engagement out at Refreshing Fountain that was previously scheduled that I had to go to. But no, I was not here when he made his statement.
have you received any, like a written complaint or grievance or something from that person?
No, I have not. The only thing that we have going on right now, as I said, as was stated, is that there was an incident that occurred. It was reported to myself, and we have since then done an investigation. The city's detectives got involved, and it's in the police department now under investigation. So we're just waiting for the culmination of that, and then we move forward.
Without, I guess, jeopardizing any investigation or anything, but is that just for the one incident, or is it kind of like, since that happened, you know, could that lead into any other, you know, if it was I guess, a crack in the system where somebody could do something like that, is it
So
just about one employee? Are you doing any type of investigation to make sure?
we have, so at this point right now, what we have is one specific shift that we know that at that time, there's some discrepancies that have occurred. We've gone back and we start pulling all the other deposits from other ones to see if they are, and so that is ongoing. So we're going back to look at that. But as it relates to that specific incident, it was reported, it was verified, and subsequently pushed to the police department so we could have an investigation done. And like I said, the detectives have made contact with the persons involved, and we're just waiting for that to come back and see what's going on. Because like I said, there are, the prosecutor, I believe, and I'd have to defer to Deputy Director Clark, I believe the prosecutor has it.
Yes.
And we're just awaiting the prosecutor to finish up what we need to do as it relates to that, if there are charges to be pressed and or restitution. Yep.
I guess the question I was getting into, is there any internal investigation going on as to, you know, like an internal audit or something to make
That's what we're starting with the deposits as we stand right now. We have had no discrepancies in the deposits, but we're going to make sure that the deposits and the various tickets that go along with it and all that stuff is looked at. Also, there are cameras in the booth for that purpose. So we see, and at any given time can pull up, like right now, what's going on, and it's being recorded. So that's stuff we're going back to look at, downloading, so that we can make sure that there is no issues or discrepancies that have occurred or are occurring still.
So when you find, say if you do the internal audit fires, the tickets and all that stuff, if you find some type of
Discrepancy,
then you can go back.
Absolutely.
On the camera.
Yes. Yep, we can identify the time the shift was working, who was working, and we can go back and look at the cameras and identify what was going on and look at what's happening. Yep.
Thank you, Chair. With what City Manager Watson just stated, are the employees upon hire know that they're being recorded?
Yes.
Okay, good. Are we recording outside as well?
The outside we're not. Outside we're not.
Fix that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's really about, honestly, Commissioner, is the fact that we have issues with hardware.
Okay.
More so than anything else.
Okay.
That's the issue.
Okay. Are we talking about one incident? Are we addressing just one incident? Because I'm aware that I've been getting some stuff that I'm not happy about. And I'm not even gonna discuss what it is. I'm just glad that he decided to call someone that was going to make sure that something moved forward and be done about a situation or the situations.
So the situation that is under investigation currently does not involve Mr. Jackson.
Okay.
He's not involved in that.
Whoa.
And so what has transpired with Mr. Jackson, and again, I would have to go back and see what was said
Okay.
last week, but he didn't have anything to do with the investigation that's currently going on right now.
Wow, okay, and I didn't mean to bring your name, but,
Well, I mean, he was the one that was here last week.
okay, wow. Are we privy to those watching those tapes?
Which tapes?
Any of them, in the booth?
We can download them. I mean, like I said, if you.
No, are we privy? Can I go to, watch the tapings if I wanted to at public safety?
We would have to download them, that's what I'm saying. We don't, they're stored, we would have to download them. We have them by.
Aren't they going over them now?
We're going to go, we've gone over the one that we know for the incident that was reported.
Okay, good deal.
And so that's where we're going, that's where we're starting.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you, thank you.
Mhm.
Whoa. Is that crazy? We can't go look. We didn't get an answer.
Mr. Duncan?
Yeah.
I came in late. I was trying to catch up with you, but you know, when you're 4 minutes late, you miss a whole lot. We're talking about where,
Talking about Gene Clark Park.
we're talking about
Personnel issues.
personnel issues like personnel where, here,
At Clark
there,
Park.
doing what?
We had, I don't know if you was here that day, Mr. Jackson, the person came in last week. Has issues.
Was it a theft or something? I mean, it seemed like you kind of hide and stuff. I'm just trying to get a better idea what you're talking about.
Hey,
Just a quick, I'm not asking for no long drawn out conversation.
Mr.
Through the
Duncan,
chair.
City manager.
Mr. Duncan, what we're talking about is, there's two things going on, being talked about right now. One is an incident that happened at Gene Clark Park that did involve it's an investigation going on right now about it, okay?
Investigating like what?
Again, because it's ongoing, I can't really get into it, but there is an investigation going on right now with some employees at the beach, okay? The allegations last week that were made by Mr. Jackson was brought to this committee to have a discussion about. And Commissioner Adams asked, were the two related? They're not. They're not related, because the incident that we're talking about does not involve Mr. Jackson. That's being investigated. But again, until that comes to fruition, we have to reserve the integrity of the investigation. So I can't really speak about that.
Okay.
But like I said, the last week's allegations, again, as Commissioner Singleton asked, was there anything formally filed? No.
Okay, well, I'm not really into all of that. I was trying to see, was somebody went to jail? Did I hear you?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Commissioner Henry.
I'm happy.
Thank you.
Nobody did it.
Let me see if I got that straight, that those two, the last complaint we got from, a gentleman in our last meeting is not concerning this other incident.
No.
Is that his complaint going to be looked into?
He's not filed a complaint.
He did file a complaint,
With whom?
us,
But that's not the process commission.
so.
He works
Okay,
as,
did anyone tell him, when he came here and gave us that information, did we tell him that it was a process that he needed to do to get something done about it? Or did we just leave it like that? What did we do? You telling me that there's nobody gonna investigate it? And he came to this body and talked about it in public?
I also, did tell him that he needed to put his complaint in writing also. So, I don't know if he has done that yet, that's why I asked.
Okay, that's what I need to hear. Thank you.
In place where it ain't in writing, it didn't happen, so that's.
Correct.
Gotta have something in writing.
Thank you. I disagree with that though. I think that it's public It's on public record, it should be, dealt with. That's the reason why we let citizens come up here and talk, so they can have an avenue.
Next, anybody else want to speak on this? Thank you. Next we have, how's the discussion of finance director job search update?
So as the commission passed the resolution on Monday regarding the, doing that, we've contacted 4 entities: the International Association of City and County Managers, which is a national firm. We've contacted GovHR, which is another national firm. We've also contacted the MML, and there's one more I'm missing. But we're waiting on them to give us a quote on what it's gonna cost to do the search. And then that will be coming back before the commission, for Personnel Finance Committee to get authorization, depending on the cost of it, to then move forward. We should have something relatively soon, because these are entities that do this on a regular basis. And so, like I said, it will be brought back to the committee if we have to have a special meeting so we can expedite it and then move forward.
All right, next we have, discussion, the 2019 MBK Summit sponsorship.
I'm sorry?
The MBK.
Oh.
MBK.
Okay, thank you. Chair, I had city clerk to forward you all the actual flyer and program that was in our packets several weeks ago. And I guess we neglected to do one thing. I guess the organization is asking for the city of Benton Harbor to make a commitment to sponsor this year's summit that will be taking place November the 1st. We're expecting a very large venue, a very large number, which is why we needed such a large venue, and we're gonna have to feed our children and our guests. And if One Love Global is putting forth 5,000, I'm sure the city of Benton Harbor, for our guests, we can match that and some. We should be able to. We can find money for everything else.
Say it again.
We can find money.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
say it one, excuse me, one.
One Love Global. This is what they do. For all of the communities that came in under the umbrella of One Love Global, of My Brother's Keeper. All of the communities in the state of Michigan take turns, whoever wants to host a summit. It takes place once a year. This is our second one, and it's expected to be the largest one. And I'm just hoping that we can do a little something extra, because things are being recorded now with the Obama Foundation, and they're recording things nationally, actually globally, of what's going on within the foundation on their site nationwide, that we can show ourselves to be not only friendly to our guests and the other students. This event will be taking place, the youth, it is being used as a field trip day for the high school students. And they will be bused out to the college. And there's a young lady working with One Love Global that's taking care of all of that. And there is an initial envelope with a stamp that that wasn't in the packet, but I'll make sure that Kimberly gets it. But I would like to see a resolution move forward to the full body that we support My Brother's Keeper. I don't even have an actual amount, because I stood in Lansing and watched the governor, well, no, the mayor, Mayor Bernard, what's his name? I watched the mayor put forth $100,000 towards their My Brother's Keeper. And I'm sure that's probably still working for them, and that's been several years. But I think it's time that we do the same, and there's nothing anybody can do with this money unless the board approves it anyway. It's released from WAM. But I think it's high time that we do something more for our youth. We're trying to raise young leaders, and that's what this is about.
City manager, can we put something forward, for resolution monies to help the sponsor the MEK? I think, did we put a resolution together about helping?
No. I think, several months ago, I was asking for, this body to move a resolution forward to actually put into a fund 10,000, so just in case we needed something like right now, we need not wait till we have some big speakers coming in. It's not costing us.
Yeah, I think we discussed, I remember discussing it, but I don't.
That's all it was, a discussion.
Yeah, I don't remember any resolution that come forward.
Yeah, I would have to, there was something we did for MBK, but I'd have to look at what it was, what was passed, and go forward from there. Sponsorship wise,
I don't know how it has to be done, I just think we need to make it happen.
yeah, I can look in to see what we can do, and then if there's a resolution could come out of that. That's fine.
Also, cause there's a timeline,
Yeah.
so also.
ASAP, I mean, whenever. I mean, we won't come, I'm sorry. I think that it's something that should happen ASAP, just for, the sake of, if it needed to happen, this is July, August, if something needed to happen in October, we know that it's in place, okay, that's all. But we have a few months, yeah.
Mr. Henry?
I think I heard Commissioner Singleton ask what time frame that we needed. So I would like to have a response from the city manager of what time frame he'll be able to provide something for us to.
Again, we meet again is in the first week in August. Yeah, I mean, that's 3 weeks from now almost. That's what we can get it done by then. I mean, that's our.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
You got it.
I have a question for, Commissioner Allen.
Oh, yes, sir, I'm sorry, oh, one of our young leaders. Yes, sir.
Now, this summit, is it open to the public, or how, let's say somebody on the street wanted to attend, will they be able to attend?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it's open to the community, but it's specifically for our young leaders. And, if you would like to be a part of it, we're looking for those that are willing to take the leadership in a breakout session.
Yeah, it's resident,
Okay, I'll make sure that you get the information.
right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Singh?
Just, like to thank, Mr. Clark, coming aboard.
Oh,
Served with him on the communications committee. It's always good to see, our young folk get involved, and I'm glad to see you step up, man.
Anybody else want to speak? Okay, good. Thanks for everybody for coming tonight. Be adjourned.